Hey, Horse Center fans, we've already done our Kentucky Derby future wager show on Horse Center, but now, Matt, we're going to go in a little different direction with this one.
Yeah, Brian, it's only about 3 months until the first Friday in May, the Kentucky Oaks.
That's right, Matt. A little less than 3 months. So let's bust out our Kentucky Oaks. Not many people are talking about it yet, but we're busting out our top 10 for the Kentucky Oaks here in February. Watch it now on Horse Center. Welcome to another edition of Horse Center, everyone. I am Brian Zipsy, and as always, I have the terrific pleasure of being joined by my co-host to the East Coast. That's Matt Shipman. How are you today, Matt?
I'm good, Brian. Let's talk about the Kentucky Oaks contenders in this show because I know that's one of your specialties.
Hey, Matt, we did a Kentucky Derby future wager show this week as well, so we can't leave the fillies out. I demand that we talk about the fillies. Luckily, you agreed with me and my outlandish demands. So let's jump right into the Kentucky Oaks preview. Matt, we're doing our Horse Center top 10 right now. And Matt, number one may surprise a few people. It's not the winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, but rather it's the California filly from the barn of Simon Callahan. I'm talking about Bella Fina.
Yeah, Brian. I don't think it's a big surprise. I think the top two, top three on this list are pretty easy to identify. Bella Fina, daughter of Quality Road, who was just super impressive in her 2019 debut in the Santa Ynez. This is a filly who has definitely taken steps forward as a 3-year-old already.
Yeah, Matt, the daughter of Quality Road was really a dominant filly last year in California. She came to the Breeders' Cup as the favorite. I've heard a few different stories about why she didn't run her best race that day when she was fourth in a big field in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies behind Jaywalk. But I think she's better than that, and she's got the race under her belt in 2019. And as you said, that Santa Ynez was huge. So for all those reasons, Bella Fina is number one on the list, but she'll have to prove that she can do it away from California. Now, number two on the list, of course, is the one that makes sense. Grade 1 winner in both New York and Kentucky. Jaywalk, daughter of Cross Traffic for trainer John Service, won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies last year, Matt.
Yeah, really hasn't done anything wrong. Won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, taking her game on the road in Churchill Downs. John Service training, who we know in the past has won the Kentucky Oaks. I'm a big fan of Jaywalk.
Yeah, her sire, Cross Traffic, another one of those first crop sires that looks to be doing really well. She stepped up. She really stepped up in the Frizette, dominated that one-turn race at Belmont Park, Grade 1, and then in Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, which importantly was at Churchill Downs last year. She really took the race to the field and was clearly best that day. She's getting ready down in South Florida, Matt, so her return to the races is not too far off. In fact, it looks like it'll be in the Devona Dale, which is coming up pretty soon, and she might face some real competition that day down at Gulfstream Park. Matt, how about we swing back out west for our number three? And this is a filly that people have been watching since birth, or maybe even before birth. Trainer Bob Baffert has the daughter of Tappet. She's a half-sister to American Pharoah. I'm talking about Chasing Yesterday.
Yeah, Brian, and Baffert's even got the good fillies here with Chasing Yesterday, and like you said, gonna be a fan favorite, gonna get bet heavily because she's from the Baffert barn, and she is American Pharoah's half-sister. She ran a really nice race to close out 2018 when she won the Starlet.
Yeah, I'm always dubious of these half brothers, half sisters, because generally they don't pan out to be anything like the famous older sibling. And of course, American Pharoah, those are pretty big horseshoes to try to fill. But I really have fallen for this filly. I think she's the real deal. Baffert won a nice maiden with her in her debut and took her immediately to the Grade 1 spin-away across country in Saratoga. That did not work out in her second start, but since then, she's really been good. picking up wins in sprint stakes out in California, and then she stretched out really well, as you mentioned, in the Starlet at Los Al. So that was a nice win, proving she could handle a distance. Chasing yesterday deserves to be high on this list, Matt, the sister of the Triple Crown winner, American Pharoah. We're going through this list pretty fast, Matt. Let's go break down to number 4, Restless Rider, another Kenny McPeek horse who has some Derby horses of note. She ran 6 times at 2. She won 3. She was second in the other 3. So certainly she's a consistent daughter of Distorted Humor.
Yeah, that's for sure, Brian. And I know this is a horse that you've liked really throughout that 6-race campaign for Kenny McPeek. Most recently, she was second in Goldenrod. Very consistent, super talented. It'll be interesting to see how her development continues when she debuts this year.
Yeah, McPeek is taking his time with her this year, Matt. He feels like she got such a good foundation last year, too, that we probably won't see her until one prep before the Kentucky Oaks, and that very well could come in the Grade 1 Ashland at Keeneland. Yeah, she was upset last time, but she ran a good race there in the Goldenrod. Before that, she was a good second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly. She's run a lot of good races at Churchill Downs already. She's run well everywhere she's run, and I think she might break through with a big win before it's all said and done. So she's at number 4. While she's very experienced, the next couple on our list aren't, Matt. We'll start with number 5. That's Feedback, another hot new sire Violence. This one for the Chad Brown barn, Matt. Big debut at Saratoga, and then she was off for quite a while, but she returned in good fashion at Gulfstream Park.
Yes, she picked it right up, Chad Brown. There's nobody better at getting horses ready off of long layoffs. And she was, again, super impressive at Gulfstream Park when she won the Forward Gal. This one, as you said, lightly raced. I don't know, Brian, skies could be the limit for Feedback.
Yeah, Feedback has yet to go 2 turns, Matt, so that is a question. And I wouldn't necessarily have used the word super impressive last time in the Forward Gal, but she was really tough in there because they went at her pretty much the whole race, and she just kept fighting them off all the way to the wire. So it was a performance that I think should do her a world of good moving forward. A real tough first race back off that romp months and months ago at Saratoga. So Feedback, I look forward to her stretching out. And Matt, interestingly, that could come also in the Devona Dale, which we've already identified as a good spot for Jaywalk to make her return. So that could be fun because both of those mares, Jaywalk and Feedback, have a lot of speed. All right, Matt, number 6 on their list, we're going to head back out to California, the familiar barn of Bob Baffert. Matt, this daughter of Tisnow, Fleur Delamar, was just pounded at the windows for her debut. And after the race, you knew why.
Yeah, odds on, as a lot of Bafferts are first time, but she backed it up in California. And again, we'll see how good this one turns out to be.
Yeah, interesting. That was a sprint where I believe she was 1-5. Matt. She was a sprint, but she's a daughter of Tisnow, and Tisnow's generally are horses I like really going 2 turns. So who knows if she gets even better going 2 turns? But this is kind of the justify of the 3-year-old fillies right now. She was purchased bred by Don Alberto, and then purchased by Godolphin for $500,000. And Baffert's liked her all along, and that debut performance was awfully good. So 1 race down, but she looks like a good one. Matt, number 7 on the list, and I don't know about you, but I kind of had a hard time dropping her this low because I think she's a nice filly, positive spirit from the barn of Rudolph Brissett, really well-bred filly, daughter of Pioneer of the Nile, and half-sister to Always Dreaming, Matt. She won for fun when we last saw her in the Demoiselle.
Yeah, and Rudolph Brissett is one of those up-and-coming trainers. She won the Demoiselle up at Aqueduct, and now in the winter, Brissett is based out at the fairgrounds. So I think her next start is expected to be in the Rachel Alexandra.
Yeah, Matt. And at number 7, we're kind of starting our New Orleans swing with these 3-year-old fillies, these Kentucky Oaks horses, because, yeah, she's down in New Orleans looking for the Rachel Alexandra next, and the horses below her are in the same place looking at the same race. Let's go to number 8, and that's Needs Supervision, Matt. I think you liked her a little bit more than I did last time when she won the Silver Bullet Day. She's from a trainer we don't know too much about, Jeremiah O'Dwyer, but she's won 3 in a row, and she looked pretty good in the Silver Bullet Day.
Yeah, I think he's one of those up-and-coming trainers. This is a daughter of Painter, who won the Silver Bullet Day last time. Certainly doing everything right, getting better. So we'll see in the next one.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of speed too, and she'll have the advantage of a nice race over the track. Like I said, she's won 3 in a row. So when she meets Positive Spirit, probably, and then the horse just below her, she might have a little bit advantage both tactically and also recent experience over the track. But having said that, the next horse on the list is another one in New Orleans to watch out for. Tom Amos has Serengeti Empress also pointed probably for the Rachel Alexandra, the daughter of Alternation, Matt. When she was good last year, she was very good.
She was really good at the beginning of her campaign, and then in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies ran 7th. Tom Amos has got her back in training, and as we've mentioned, is also being pointed for the Rachel Alexandra. So those 3 are talented, but something's got to give in that race coming up in March.
That's right, Matt. You know, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies was not a good performance for Serengeti Empress, but the 2 races before that, I guess it was the Alice Park Debutante and then the Pocahontas right here at Churchill Downs, were just big, romping, wide margin performance for Serengeti Empress. So if you can forgive that Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies a little bit, that's why she's still on our list and still definitely one to watch out for. I know Tom Amos likes her quite a bit. And Matt, we're already to number 10 on our list. And once again, we're talking about a filly with some breeding, because you remember, I'm sure you remember, Stop Charging Maria. This is Stop Charging Maria's first fall, always shopping.
Yeah, you know, when you see one of those horses running in New York that have shopping in them, you can pretty much assume that they are from the barn of Mike Rapoli. And of course, this one is from the barn of Rapoli, trained by Todd Pletcher, a daughter of Awesome Again. She looked pretty good last Sunday, winning the Busanda. Pletcher had some luck in the Kentucky Oaks. I know there was a horse a few years ago from the Pletcher barn that you liked in the Oaks.
Coming out of the Busanda, yeah, I think that was Princess's Summer. We got some big odds that day in the Kentucky Oaks. Always Shopping is probably not at the level as most of these yet, but the good news is she's just bred out of this world. Awesome Again, Stop Charging Maria. Stop Charging Maria, what a nice mare she was. And she's getting better and better for Todd Pletcher with each and every start. Distance should be no problem for her. So if she can build upon that recent win in the Busanda, as you said, she's another one to watch for the Kentucky Oaks. Hey, Matt, that's our list. That's our top 10 for the Kentucky Oaks. What is it? Today's about a week into February, so we got a few months to go for the Kentucky Oaks as well, but we can never leave the fillies off our list, and that's our top 10 right now. Hey, I want to thank you, the viewer, for watching our show every week. We hope you enjoyed our special Kentucky Oaks Top 10 edition here. Also, thanks needs to be given to our sponsor, the best contest site out there. That's Derby Wars. If you haven't yet subscribed, folks, please do so to our YouTube channel here on Horse Racing Nation. Hey, Matt, this is the time of the show where I always ask for a little parting shot from you. And if you want to talk about the fillies again, feel free.
Hey, yeah, I think it's great that we're doing this show because there's so much Kentucky Derby talk between now and the first Saturday in May. And that Kentucky Oaks Day on the Friday before the Derby is special, and the fillies in the Oaks are special. So we'll keep you informed, folks, about that big race.
That's right. And the fillies, it's not like the fillies haven't been dominating the males for about 10 years now internationally and even here in America a little bit. So we have to talk fillies. Anything else from you, Matt?
As usual, I want to thank our producer, Brett Workman, for putting together the show.
Well done to you, Matt. Well done to Brett. Thank you for watching, folks. And as we leave you, let's trail off, Matt, with what I thought, in fact, what I'm sure was the race of the week last week. It may have been wet out in Southern California, but that was quite a battle between, I think, two of the best older horses in America. Battle of Midway, beating Mackenzie in the San Pasquale. We'll see you next week, folks.
And they're off. Very sweet beginning. Mackenzie was out alertly. Dalmore and Pavel going for the lead. Now Giant Expectations is hustled into contention, and Battle of Midway is actually last in the opening furlong, where Giant Expectations comes alongside of Dalmore. Mackenzie is kept in the clear, 3 wide in third. Battle of Midway on the extreme outside. Pavel is at the rail. It's a compact group. 2.5 lengths covers them. Giant Expectations on the outside. Dalmore, they are matching strides, racing together as one. 2 more to Mackenzie in third. Battle of Midway inches up outside of Mackenzie, and Pavel is on the inside of this pair. It's Giant Expectations with 5/8 of a mile to go in the San Pasquale Stakes. Mackenzie takes second. Dalmore losing ground steadily. Battle of Midway just went by him. The gray Pavel has 2.5 to make up with a half-mile to run. And it's Giant Expectations by a neck. Mackenzie and Battle of Midway racing right together. Pavel takes fourth. Dalmore is now the trailer. 3/8 to run. Giant Expectations has been prominent every step of the way. Mackenzie, an imposing presence up alongside now, and Battle of Midway is outside of him. 3 of them across the track with a 1/4 of a mile to go. Pavel has 5 to make up. Mackenzie, Battle of Midway running a huge race on the outside, and Giant Expectations is hanging tough. They're 1/8 of a mile from home, and it's Mackenzie and Battle of Midway. Battle of Midway or Mackenzie. Mackenzie just in front. Battle of Midway's pressing hard on the outside. Mackenzie or Battle of Midway. It could go either way. Battle of Midway. Battle of Midway beats Mackenzie in the San Pasquale. Giant Expectations third. Pavel was fourth. In the winner's circle is number 8, Battle of Midway, a 5-year-old bay horse by Smart Strike out of Rigoletta, owned by Don Alberto Stable or Windstar Farm. The winning trainer is Jerry Hollendorfer, and the jockey, Flavien Prat. That's a riding double today for Flavien Prat. Battle of Midway was bred in Kentucky by Thorbred Stables, LLC. In the winner's circle to make the presentation to the connections of Battle of Midway, winner of the Grade 2 San Pasquale Stakes, Santa Anita welcomes Ray Pollock.
Thank you, Frank. Old-fashioned throwdown here in the San Pasquale. Battle of Midway with a gutsy performance. Winning rider Flavien Prat. Flavien, congratulations. You seemed a little farther back than normal to start. Was that by design?
Well, I thought the other day we were up on the lead, and we have been praised the whole way, and I didn't feel like it was really comfortable doing that. So with the outside road today, I thought it might be better to stay outside.
All right, congratulations with the race.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk to Jerry Hollendorfer. Jerry, obviously a huge performance very early in the year for these older horses. You have to be happy with what you saw today.
Very nice, and good ride by Pratt, and I thought we had our horse ready, and Bob's horse was very game too, so it's a good race.
Were you surprised to see, I know we saw Giant Expectations got up there really early, hadn't seen that in a while. Did that kind of affect how you were approaching the race?
You know, we were kind of undecided what the speed was going to be. You know, I thought Bob would send his horse harder, but he didn't do that, so that kept us wide into the first turn, which that was a good strategy for them.
Jerry, really appreciate the time. Congratulations and continued success.
All right, thank you.
All right.